Hey guys.
Welcome to another episode of Pew Time with Tony.
And Jackie.
A short week, huh?
Yeah, it felt like a very short week. It went by really quickly. Now that the season's kicking off, I imagine the whole season's going to fly by. Where the off season, everything dragged.
It did. Didn't drag long enough to get all the ammo made, but it dragged.
I feel like we're so far behind right now.
So far.
I feel like I'm so far behind right now.
Jumping into some gun news?
Yes. Let's avoid my downfalls.
Yes, my Mark 7 is out for repair.
Your Mark 7's low on M&Ms. Fix that. Nom-noms.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to Ferrero Pan and just get the giant 55-gallon size bucket of M&Ms. There you go.
Make M&Ms. You have to go to Mars.
I'm sure they make their own version.
They will not be the same. Regardless, gun news, off of the candy topic. I was excited about this one. So this gun has been out for a very long time to most of the rest of the world, but not in the U.S. until recently. The Glock Model 28 is now being made in the U.S., so we can now get it. And if in case you're wondering, what the hell is a Glock 28? It is a double-stacked 380, 10 rounds. It's the same exact dimensions as a Glock 26, with the same capacity as a 26. Now, what's super interesting about this gun is that because everything is the same dimension as the 26, but the rounds are shorter, you can actually see the chamber size difference at the top of the slide. So where the chamber is shorter, there's then a bevel that runs down and into the like a crevice instead of sitting flush at the top like the 26 does. And then when you take the mag out, because the rounds, of course, then again are shorter, the rounds are at the front of the mag, as they should be for feeding, and the back of the mag is hollowed out and skeletonized to fill up that external space to still seat in the gun that has the same frame as a 26. It's very interesting.
So I guess then, in theory, you should be able to buy a 28 upper if you should so choose in a magazine and put it on a 26.
Yeah. I haven't seen any mags come through, but the guns are available now. So I imagine they're in Glock fashion. It seems everybody's been doing that. They're like, oh, the guns, the guns, the guns. But what about the mags?
Yeah.
We need mags.
What about the ammunition devices?
Right. The holders. Ammo holders.
I'd imagine probably going to be about the same price as the 26.
You're totally going to hate me, and I'm terrible at my job, apparently. I didn't even look at the price. I literally looked at it before it was even logged into the store. They open shipping.
Well, safe bet. If it's the same size and everything, it's safe bet it's going to be the same size. If maybe $20, $30 cheaper, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, they open the box and they're like, oh, it's just a newborn 26. And one of the guys goes, wait a second. But wait, there's more. And we all kind of gathered around like chickens at the coop. Just peck, 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 peck. So, that was neat. I'm excited to see it now available, because it's kind of funny when, if you can remember way back, 2014-15 era, when the 42 was released, that's all everyone talked about.
Yeah, that in the 29? Or the 20...
The 19-size one.
Yeah, the 29.
Yeah, the 19-size one. That's what everyone was thinking that they were going to be releasing or bringing to the U.S. soon. So, you know what? Maybe that's right around the corner. Maybe it is. Maybe they won't bother, but it could be right around the corner.
Leave it to Glock to, hey, we're going to release a new gun. Just kidding. Send that stuff from Austria.
Right. We're going to make it here.
I got a new product. Well, it's actually not new. Apparently it was out at SHOT Show. I don't know how I missed it. Franklin Armory, those known for making the binary triggers, have released something that I think is quite awesome. And it is called the Franklin Armory CA320. Interesting name. It looks like a regular 320. Does it not?
It does.
But this is basically Franklin Armory giving a huge fuck you to the state of California. Because the CA320 starts as a standard SIG 320 FCU with a manual safety, but the CA320 is that FCU tucked inside of a full-size grip module, looks like an X series grip module, configured in a way that it cannot accept a magazine.
Go on.
Well, that enables the guns listing on the state handgun roster. So it can be approved because it doesn't use a detachable magazine.
Okay.
It just is a coinkydink that the 320 is probably the most modular handgun system on the planet.
Funny. I see what they did there.
That FCU is a regular SIG FCU that, if you put the pieces together, it's real easy to find grip modules if you don't like the size or the color of this one.
Right, they're like $30.
Right. And then you would have a 320 that's less commie. I didn't see a price on it. Maybe it... Oh, I love this new thing. Technology is great. Let me see real quick. I don't think they have it listed. I don't think they gave a price on their website. But I dig it. I am completely behind this. I think more people should do it. Restricted state products. Oh, okay. So it's not cheap, but it's also not egregiously priced. $949.99.
And it looks like an X series. How the X series would: flat face trigger, extended beaver tail, undercut.
Optic ready. Yeah. So,
Which is important because the slide's the only part you're keeping.
Well, in the FCU.
That's...
Yeah, I love it. I think more people should be doing this.
It's absolutely fantastic.
So, Franklin Armory, congratulations. Kudos to you. I think it's quite awesome what you guys did.
Up next is... We're just talking about...
And who knows? Hell, maybe we have to buy those soon.
Oh, jeez. Don't even start. Don't give them any ideas. Gorilla Optics has their Samaritan RMSC.
Well, start over because Gorilla Optics is a new company. I'd never heard of them up until then.
I didn't hear about them. A friend of ours introduced us to it. Leon.
Yes.
He actually had one installed on his Canik MC9, which is cool because I haven't had a whole lot of opportunity to get one of those in my hands since they came out. So it was nice to handle and check that out, and also check out the red dot that he had on it. Or green dot, rather. He had the green one.
True. All right, well, let's run down it real quick. RMSC footprint. The window is supposed to be, and confirmed, is larger than, say, like a 507K.
Right.
Or an RMRCC. It is available in a 5 MOA red or green dot. You have to pick the model. It's not a color changing reticle. Aluminum housing. You can get a manual model or an auto model. Auto shutoff, and they call it Waken technology, which is their shake awake. This dot has a super low profile.
Very. Was it, the MC9 had standard sights on it, and it co-witnessed straight through.
And I'm showing her the Hellcat now because we have one of these dots for testing. And I mounted it to the Hellcat because I stole that dot for something else, don't remember. But it was dotless, and
It will not do.
We're gonna test it out and see how it does. And it even co-witnesses with the factory little U-notch Hellcat sights. So it's a very, very slim optic.
Very low profile. These run for $219.99.
Yeah, so $220. It's cheap.
Yeah.
That's really cheap.
I will say I was super impressed by it holding the small footprint, and we put it side by side with the 407K that I have on my Bamalam, my little Spectre comp, and it was significantly bigger.
Yeah, I mean, and I wouldn't say significantly, but
it's visually, you're not sitting there having to get the micrometer out and go, well, I mean, like, like 2/1000s technically. Like it's a significant difference in window size from your other standard RMSC footprint red dots.
I'm just interested to see how it holds up.
I think you put it on the perfect gun.
Well, and I wanted to ask you guys. So, because this is on a gun, I hate saying this, because it's on a gun that I don't care so much about, should we, when we test this gun, should we go full Sage Dynamics and drop it? Would you guys like to see that? Because I don't know if Aaron has one of these or if he's going to get one. Aaron
if he's
from
smart,
Sage.
He won't.
No, I mean.
Well, the red dot maybe, but the Hellcat.
Well, I think he has a Hellcat. But, you know, let us know. Do you want us to drop it? Because I have no qualms about dropping this.
Mm-hmm.
So, if that's what you guys would like to see, and we'll see if this $220 optic is worth it, you know, I'd be down for that.
I like to throw things. I won't throw it. I'll just drop it.
Yeah, we want it to come from a significant height.
Right, so you'll drop it. It'll probably, if I drop it, it'll be like, oh, it just fell on a pile of pillows. 1.5 feet off the ground is nothing to...
Yeah, who dropped me from the step stool?
Hoot and holler. I would have to stand on a step stool to get a proper drop. So yeah, we're gonna run it through the ringer.
Yeah, let us know if you guys want to see the full gambit of it. That is it for gun news. Kind of shallow on the gun news this week. There was a major that happened. That was the South Carolina Section Championship.
I think we missed something in gun news. Isn't there a neat little 1911 that takes a very specific magazine?
Oh, yeah.
The AlphaFoxtrot AF 1911 S15.
It's a long name.
It is a long name. So AlphaFoxtrot, I know they have been around for a while, doing parts for other manufacturers.
Yeah, their parent company. And they've been out for... AlphaFoxtrot started pushing their own guns like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was about 2 years ago. It was during the pandemic.
Yeah. And their big push was like, hey, we've made an all-aluminum Glock 19. Mm-hmm. Would you care to see it? It was okay at best.
Yeah. Yeah, I have occasionally people will ask to see it. They'll hold it and then they'll go, nah, just go to Glock.
Yeah. Well, it seems like they missed the boat on that one because, first of all, why on God's green earth would you think it's a smart idea to introduce a Glock 19 copy of a gun that is not optic ready?
Right.
What? The only person that can get away with that is Glock because they've been making them that way, and even they, I'm sure, are going to transition to only have optic ready guns.
Right. That's probably right around the corner. Smith's already done it.
So, it was okay. It didn't feel very good to me. Mm-hmm. It felt, dare I say, unfinished.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, this is like, I feel like we're holding like
a demo
beta
copy.
test 1.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is...
But wait, is there more?
But like,
no.
It's super slick.
Yeah. It's very untextured.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we got these lines. This is where the texture's going to be.
But no.
And where else? Like,
right.
You get that thing wet, it's impossible.
Right. Not a huge fan. But that's not the only thing they do. I mean, they mostly specialize in 1911s. Like, that's their thing. You know, they were making parts for Kimbers for, I don't know if they still are, but they were making parts for Kimbers for quite some time. So 1911s is their jam. This is what would be a officer's model, a 3-inch 1911.
Is it a 3-inch?
It is a 3.
Oh, okay. So, yeah,
3-inch officer size 1911 that takes magazines for your Glock 43X or 48, as well as the metal Shield S15 magazines, which hold 15 rounds. So I think your little, I don't think it'll feel as fat as like officer size 2011. Because those mags aren't as big as 2011 mags. They're slimmer. It's like a stack and a half rather than a double stack.
Holy hell, these guys are high. Go on, I'm sorry. Go on.
So I don't think it's going to be as wide as a 2011 would be, but bigger than a single stack in the grip. Now go on and finish your thought because it's clearly loud.
Okay, I wasn't... It was a knee-jerk reaction. I guess it's not too expensive. I was not expecting it to be $16.40.
Well, I didn't see that one coming.
So, well, I can see where... I can't really tell. All right, so I'll give it this, right? Nice deep serrations. It does look like a bull barrel. Reverse crown. Full dust cover. So it's got some stuff going for it. I swear if this is not optic ready. Of course.
Wouldn't be the traditional 1911 way if it was. 2 world wars and all.
I do find this interesting. So they're saying it's thinner and shorter than a single stack 1911.
Really?
Oh. So that's kind of giving me vibes of, do you remember the Springfield EMPs?
Oh, yuck.
Where they were like a 1911, but not quite.
Right, and they didn't take 1911 mags.
Right. 7075 T6 frame. Steel inserts. Weighs 28.5 ounces empty. DLC coating. Bravo for them. Uses standard 1911 hammer and trigger. And ships with an S15 magazine from the factory. So, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
I imagine just like any other 1911, you can have it milled.
Yes, you could.
I'm
interested
I
to try
see
this.
anyone who gets one of those to, like, immediately have a dot thrown on it.
Sure. I'm interested. I would like to try one.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't know how tiny it's going to feel, because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's going to be the size of the Bull Ultralights. Mm-hmm. That's apparently not the case. It's going to be much smaller.
Yeah. Well, you got to figure the grip size from the feed ramp down to your pinky on a 43X mag. Like, it can't be any longer than that. It won't be shorter than that.
Well, and it looks very flush with, like, the S15. Like, there's not a lot of wiggle room in there.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you've held my 43X. Not width-wise won't be the same, obviously, but, you know, length-wise, you can imagine how much you'd have in your hand.
Right.
Right, which would be, like, almost your whole pinky on there. Like, half your pinky fits on there, where my whole hand fits on there.
Right.
So, I don't think it's going to be... I feel like it'll give you more to hold than a traditional 3-inch 1911 would.
Okay. So I have to reread the rules, but that sounds like it'd be a pretty cool gamer gun for the...
bug out category, or...
Not a bug. I don't think it classifies as a bug, but it would classify as the custom carry pistol, I think is the IDPA division. Mm-hmm. With the 3-inch barrels. Because before, the cheater gun was an M&P compact. Or subcompact. Because that just made the measurements. And that was like the biggest gun you could have for that division. Mm-hmm. I think this might meet it.
I'll have to try that out.
Of course, all the shit that I just talked about, AlphaFoxtrot, I'm sure they're not going to send us one.
You never know.
Hey, I'm honest. You're honest.
We don't sugarcoat shit.
No. Call it like I see it. If this optic falls off and smacks Jackie in the head, trust me, you'll know.
I'll be recording from afar with the camera on Zoom. Just to be safe. That'd be like the worst ending to a range day ever.
Yeah, you would be pissed.
What's in your eye? Glass. How? Don't ask.
Yeah, I can just imagine. Now I gotta call Brian and get new glasses.
Yeah, oh my god, with my brand new glasses, I would be furious.
Yes. Shout out to Hunter's HD Gold. Jackie's rocking a sweet pair of them.
Yes. The Bel Airs.
Mm-hmm.
They're red. They match my hair. They're super hot. And yours are blue.
Yes. Thank you very much, Brian. Now, where was I? Shooting sports.
Shooting sports, right.
Yes.
And I do believe, like, truly that's the end of gun news. I just wanted to squeeze that last one in there.
So, the South Carolina Section Championship. From all the videos I've seen, aside from the last day, it was awesome. Mm-hmm. Last day it started pouring.
Yeah.
It's a match I'm really upset we didn't make. Especially because our new friend Tom had a lot to do with it. Tom Castro.
Mm-hmm. And actually, last minute, also, Brian from Hunters HD decided he was going to go to that event as well. It was like a last minute decision.
So from everything I saw, it seems like it's going to be a needs to go on the list match for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Their vendor row rivaled that of, like, back in the day 3-gun. Tons of vendors, tons of prizes.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seemed like a lot of fun. And shout out to Tom for doing something I've never seen at a match. He had a side bay strictly for Tom Castro Shooting Academy, where he was giving free coaching for USPSA.
That's fantastic.
And he still competed.
Oh. What a man.
Yeah.
3 cheers for Tom.
So let's jump into the match results. Carry Optics First Division. Out of 299 shooters, who's the one dickhead that backed out? Out of 299 shooters, 138 of them were Carry Optics.
That's insane.
Wonder what these numbers are going to look like after Limited Optics.
Oh, I think they're gonna drop, and then they're gonna go back to Carry Optics, realizing that this fun new thing is actually the same as the old thing.
We'll see. All right, Carry Optics first place. Tyler Meisenheimer. Meisenheimer. Second place, John Vlieger. Third, Ryan Flowers.
Limited, first place, John Browning. Second, Joey Sauerland. And third, Weston Hensley.
Open, first place, Mike Wang. Second, Aaron Edens. Third, Kyle Light. I'm going to go with Light.
I'd say Leet.
Leet?
That's my vote. PCC, first place, Corey Scheel. Second, Jason Clark. And third, Rick the Welder.
Love it. I think we need more of these names in USPSA.
I do agree.
Production, which only had 10 people in it. Winner, Matt Hopkins.
Woo!
Second place, Igor Zander. Third place, Andreas, buddy, listen, we've met...
Yankopoulos.
Yes, that. I was going to say, I've met him in person, I've had dinner and drinks with him. No matter what, I have such a hard time saying his last name, I don't know why. Congratulations,
Before, during,
dude.
or after the drinks. It doesn't matter. There is no difference. It's all hard.
That's what she said. Go on.
You're my favorite. We did have Revolver. We had 7 shooters in Revolver. So first, second, and third, we have Jeffrey Yang, David Burton, and Ross Duringer.
And rounding out the old guns for single stack, first place, Jarrett Heinrich, Jason Karstead, and Larry Huff.
I love that you pick which one you start on, and I get the other ones, and you always get the impossible names.
Yeah. Congrats, guys, on winning and doing the things.
Getting out and doing the things, as Mr. Manny says all the time. Speaking of Mr. Manny, I really can't wait for Michigan.
I can't either, seeing as I took a surprise road trip up to Manny. If you guys paid attention to our Instagram stories, Saturday morning I decided to wake up extra early.
You're out of the house at what, like 4:45?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I drove up to Brooklyn, Michigan to hang out with my buddy Manny and help put some stages down for the Michigan sectional. They look awesome. Yes. He was very surprised.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. He actually didn't believe me when I called him because I sent him a text message. I was like, I know this is his day off. Hey, why don't you call me when you wake up? Call me groggy as shit. Yeah. He must have been looking at those stories. What are you doing in the Mitten State? I'm like, No, I'm just coming to see you. He's like, bullshit. What are you doing in the Mitten state? What are you doing in my state? I'm like, no, I'm serious. I'm coming to see you. He's like, wait, what? Yes, I'm coming to see you. I'm on my way to Brooklyn. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, let me get ready. I'll call you when I'm ready. And then we got together for breakfast. Met a bunch of...
about, what, an hour away from...
From the range.
Yeah, and that's his local.
The breakfast place we went to was literally 5 minutes from the range.
Oh, nice.
Went and had breakfast. A couple of the other guys showed up that were going to help out. And help set up some stages. I got to shoot Manny's open gun.
Ooh, how was that?
It was very nice.
You didn't tell me about that.
Yep, very, very nice.
You got the bug again?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
I figured that's why you didn't tell me you shot his open gun.
No.
Every time you shoot someone else's open gun, it like reignites the obsession all over again.
No.
So, that's all. We just can't wait for the Michigan match. The Manny sectional, as it's more being commonly referred to as. We did get some questions this week. We didn't get any CCCs. If you guys aren't familiar with CCCs, when we refer to them in the show, it is carry, compete, and crush. You send us 3 different firearms, and we have to moan and gripe and complain and try and figure out which one we would put in which category. One of them gets to be crushed. One of them is carried as a daily carry, and the other one is competed with in some form of competition. So we've had people submit 3 different types of shotguns. We've had people submit mini revolvers, tip-up barrels.
Military artillery.
I mean, it gets really crazy, so get creative with it, have fun, because we absolutely love, especially stuff that we're not, like, super, super familiar with, and being able to, like, research it before the show and learn the history on it before making our decision on air, which is a lot of fun. So definitely send those in, and you don't have to wait until Mondays when we put up the Do You Have a Question post, and in our stories, both our personal stories and Laugh and Load stories, we usually put those up. You can send those to us any time of the week. 2 in the morning when you're drinking, you're like, oh, this will be good, send it.
So if you guys didn't catch that, Monday whenever we put up a post, it's usually to tie in for questions. So you can leave your questions in the comments, and it's always in the stories. You can also leave us a question there. But I did want to talk about something that has come up multiple times the past couple weeks now. I've had a lot of, I guess, listeners or followers of Laugh and Load ask if we were ever going to be putting the podcast on YouTube. So the answer going forward, the audio will be going on YouTube. It's not going to be a Hank special. It'll just be our logo and the audio for now. So, also by request by more than a few people, which I'm very humbled by and appreciative, at least one a week right now, I'm going to be putting up the back catalog. So, starting at 1, going up to 125 or 126 today, I'm going to be putting up the old episodes as well as the new ones. And they'll be in their own little playlist. So if you're a YouTube person and that's where you get your podcasts and stuff like that, we will now be on YouTube as well.
Yay! Yeah, it was so odd that it was just like just so very randomly in the last 2 weeks we've had a handful of people individually reach out to us about it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's YouTube.
Yeah, I guess we should probably do that.
Yeah, YouTube.
So sorry it wasn't up before. I actually didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah.
So many apologies, and I will have them up for you shortly.
Very shortly. On to the questions that we did get submitted. The first one that we got was, how can matches scale up to support more shooters?
Yes. So I actually asked for clarification on it when they sent the question in. And basically it was local matches fill up in about 15 minutes. So what can matches do to increase the number of shooters they can have at a match without burdening the match and making it a 7-hour day for a local? Mm-hmm. So what do you think? That's the question.
I wonder if they run double waves, kind of like how the WIT was ran. Like they have an AM, even Pine Tree. Pine Tree does their Sunday matches. They have an AM wave, and then they have an 11 AM wave. So the 8 AM guys come in, they shoot all the stuff. Then the 11 AM guys come in, and they shoot all the stuff. So
yeah, so that's one way that our local does it, is they do the 2 waves.
Mm-hmm.
And I think something that could help with that is, yes, in some cases you would have to shorten the match. In other cases, you would just have to be a little bit more creative with stage design. So, are you going to incorporate some more short and medium courses as opposed to having like 6 30-round courses, right? Also, can you mix it up and only do 4 bays or 3 bays, but do 2 stages per bay where you're just changing the start position, removing a couple targets, or adding a no-shoot here, something like that. We do that a lot of our indoor matches, where, you know, at one of our indoor matches, we only have 2 bays, but we still shoot 6 stages. We start at like 7, and we're done by 11.
yeah.
So, not saying it's not the answer, but it seems to work for us. It does take a little bit more patience and time. Like, the guys that we have by us that can do it, I'll just shout them out. Max Klatt is one of the best stage designers I know, and he is very good at making a stage that you can basically transform to 2 other stages in an instant.
Right.
Eric is actually very good at it as well. Eric Camps. So if you want to reach out to those guys on IG, they both love talking USPSA all the time. See if they can give you some pointers about how to make a stage convertible to another stage very quickly.
Yeah.
And that'll cut down on having the time, but then you can also do 2 waves on top of that if you want.
Right.
So you can do your first wave, be it 8 to 10, or whenever your start time is. Shoot that, shoot the other position, and then by the time the next one comes in, you're not resetting anything. They shoot those, and then they reset it to the first one.
Right. I think it really all comes down to structure and sticking to a plan and organization as far as time management goes. Because I've only shot up in McHenry at the Alpha range with a mismatch once. And I was like super impressed. It was literally the last shooter of that squad. As soon as the range was called clear, the guys scattered like flies, started grabbing and moving stuff around, and it was reset within 5 minutes for the next one. And it was like, this is fantastic. You guys are like so on top of it. Everyone, there's like 3-4 copies of the printed out stage plans on it. And everybody knew what was going on.
Well, and that's a well-oiled machine, so
yeah,
it may take a little bit for you to get ready to do that. But even when I went up and shot Lodi's indoor match, it was in one bay, a bigger bay, but still one indoor, like one range, and we shot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stages.
That's impressive.
But they were all set up at the same time. So we shot the 4 little stages first, and then 2 medium stages, and then 1 big one. And we just started subtracting and closing off walls as we went. And I think we went through 30 shooters.
And kind of like how the same concept of like how Midwest runs their practice night, where you have like 3 short ones, then 2 medium,
but on
and
a
then 1
grander
long.
scale. I mean, this was
one of
the most impressive things I've seen.
I mean, yeah, this is it's not even a local. It's literally just a practice night.
No, but I'm saying I didn't know any other range did that.
Yeah.
To see it on a full-blown USPSA match scale.
Yeah.
It was impressive. So there are ways to do it. You just need to have the guys around you that want to do it. You know, good stage design, have a good plan of attack. All of that, I think, could aid in doing either of those. And another easy thing would be to add a day. You know, if you shoot Sundays, what about shooting Saturday and Sunday?
Right.
So,
you already set it up once. No need to do anything extra.
Right.
Just
I mean,
set it up
granted,
a day
that's
sooner.
that's per club. Like, can you set it up the day before? Can you do this? Can you that's all varied. But hopefully that helps.
The next question that we got was, how did you get started in competitive shooting?
How did I get started? Well, working behind the gun counter at a very young age, I was impressed with some of the local talent that would come on practice nights. I was like, I want to do that. I want to shoot fast. And then I got involved in looking at videos of Travis Tomasi doing like the world's fastest reload, and then looking at stuff like JJ Ricazza, and eventually learning up with the older gentleman. Hey, yeah, you should, if you want to see a really good shooter, you need to look up this Frenchman. I'm like, Frenchman? Like, hey, you really need to look up Eric Graffel. Oh, okay. So that's
what did it.
That's who I started following, was JJ, Eric, Travis, and just watching them and then watching the local guys, and I started in IDPA. I literally went and shot a classifier match with a friend to get classified to shoot the Illinois State Championship in 2010. Shot that, and then I took a little break, and then went back to USPSA with you.
Yeah. We actually shot our very first USPSA together in the fall of 15. It was literally like the October local, just before it like froze over and turned Illinois into a sheet of ice. So it was like the last one of the season for outdoor. Was the first one we decided to shoot. Shot that one with Richie and Ike, who kind of guided us and mentored us on our first few steps of getting into competition shooting, because they've both been doing it for a very long time. Backtrack to where I first heard of competition shooting. My mom used to shoot IDPA revolver, or IPSC revolver?
I think she shot IDPA.
IDPA revolver, back in the late 80s, early 90s for a few years. So when I was very young, I knew that she did competition shooting. She had a little trophy for it.
Well, that early, it would have been IPSC.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I thought it was IPSC because she shot with Ike. Yeah. And then, Pete and Jack and all of them. So, at a very young age, I knew that she did something that got her a trophy of a woman holding a gold gun on her dresser. I didn't know too much about it at that young age, and as I got older, I started asking her more about it. She took me to the range at age 6, and when I started working at the shop at age 22 is when I started seeing the same group of guys that you saw coming in on practice nights, and, shot in some of the practice nights. It was fun, as an employee, they encourage us to, get more training and stuff like that, and, we have access to the range whenever we want, so it was nice to be able to just go up there and be welcomed by all these guys to learn about competition shooting, but I'd never done anything like that ever before, and I didn't do anything with it outside of the practice nights until 2015 when I dragged you to our very first USPSA match.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got our memberships in the earlier part of 2016, and the rest is history.
And then very shortly after that, we shot Area 5.
Right. It was the beginning part of the season.
That's it, right?
That's it. That's how we got into competition shooting.
That's it.
And that was the last of the questions.
Cool. Well, guys, as always, you can reach out to us at Laugh and Load for Facebook, Instagram. If you're ancient and want to use email, you can do pewtimepodcast@gmail.com. Or if you're really ancient and you want to send me snail mail, you can go on the website and look at the address. That's www.laughandload.com. Our shipping address is on there somewhere. You can mail us a letter, I guess.
If you wanted to. We'll get it.
If you want to check out any of the new range wear and stuff, laughandload.com. I got nothing else. I will talk to you guys next week. What about you?
I think we're good.
Cool.
Bye, guys.
Talk to you next week.